Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Karen Whittemore. I am a family nurse practitioner. I've been in practice for 25 years now, and in all my time of practice, I have never seen anything quite like the technology from LifeWave and the X39. And today we have a special guest with us, Catalina Pasilla. Am I saying that right?
It's
Pasilla?
Pasillas, but it's okay.
Pasillas. So she is going to share her story with us. Catalina, first of all, what was your life like before using the patches? What were you experiencing?
Hi everybody. My name is Catalina Pasillas, and I'm a real estate agent here in Southern California. And right when the pandemic hit, maybe a couple months after the pandemic hit, I got COVID. And so I'm talking before say that question again. How was my life before the
Yeah, what was
patches?
life like before you started patches? What was your health like?
Okay.
What was your
Yeah.
life like?
So let me just back up a little bit.
Okay.
I already had a lot of inflammation in my body prior to. I was working excessively. I hit burnout when the pandemic hit. And so I completely just shut down myself personally. But when I got COVID, I was left with a lot of body pain, extreme body pain, a lot of brain fog, a lot of just like cognitive stuff that just didn't make sense to me. One time I was reading off my debit card number to a somebody on the phone, and the numbers that were coming out of my mouth were not the numbers that were on my card. It was really bad. I got to the point that I couldn't even get off the floor. Like one time I was down there stretching. I've always been an avid person that I love to exercise. I just love physical activity. But it really limited me
Was it
after I
just
had
the fatigue, or was it the pain that was more limiting, or a little combination of
both.
both? Okay.
But the pain, I had pain. I felt like I was walking on broken glass. Of course, now I'm coughing. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
And we're live.
That's all right.
My throat is drying up. But yeah, it was a combination. Oh my gosh, hold on.
Sure. Yeah, you were sneezing earlier. So it is allergy season for a
I
lot
just
of
took my
people.
pill earlier too. Um, which, all of it is all combined, all right, with the inflammation. I did get pneumonia in my left lung. So there was some medical issues going on. And oh my gosh, sorry guys.
You're good.
And and so as you can see, I'm still working through a lot of them. But when so right before I got to the patches, I mean, I got to the point where I did I still do acupuncture. I do like cold baths, the infrared saunas to just try to help my body. Um, and I joined a local gym, and I did get better, but very, very slowly. Yeah.
Okay. And I understand you had some back issues too. Is that right?
So it's so interesting because the pain that I was left with was on my feet, my lower back, excruciating pain. I felt like and I'll be honest with you, I never went to the doctor to check like for any autoimmune issues, because I just didn't want to hear any type of diagnosis. And
Mm.
so I was just helping myself with nutrition. I was helping myself with just anything and everything, but I was so desperate. I mean, I give me a second. Now somebody's knocking. Oh my gosh. Hi, I'm on a Zoom call. I can't talk right now. I'll leave my info. I serve your neighbors next door. I own the water well. Okay, thank you. Yep. And so anyways, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
Well, tell us when you were introduced to the patches and how things changed.
So when I was at the gym where Nikki goes to the gym, I overheard, I think she treated or she helped the owner of the gym. And I
Mm.
heard about some patches. And they told me, they're like, you should try these patches because so every time I try to work out harder, my back would hurt. So I always have to stay very careful with how much weight I put on or certain exercises, right? And it's just weird. And so they're like, you should try these patches. But honestly, I was very desperate. I've tried everything other than like pain medication. So I've been living with this pain for like 4 years. And it really like it's like a cloud that follows me, that used to follow me. It was really debilitating. I kept myself from going dancing, things that I love to do, hiking. It really changed my life to not the best. But I kept trying. And so when they're like, you need to try these patches, I said, okay, I mean, I didn't even ask what it was. I didn't even know the name of the company until Nikki, presented it to me. And she's like, which one do you want? And I said, give me all of them. I mean, because when you're sick, like I know that this is like a cliche, words that I'm going to say, but when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, that's when you do something different. And
Yeah.
I was tired. And I knew that the next step was probably going to be pain medication. And I just didn't want to. I didn't even take albuterol, not ibuprofen. I didn't even take
Mm.
Tylenol because I don't like to put those things in my body. But there were times where my pain was so over the top that I said, I have to do it for a day or two. So when they said about the patches, I said, okay, let's try them. And yeah, and here I am. Yeah, I think that was
So
in January or February.
so how long did it take for you to start noticing a difference, and what did you notice?
So right away, I mean, as soon as Nikki, she's like, because she could tell by my demeanor. So she's like, put this patch on on your forehead, and I think it was glutamine or like or carnosine. I don't remember which one it was actually, but I felt like the clearing of my like just I saw brighter all of a sudden, and I thought, whoa. But I'm very perceptive to energy. So
Okay.
I can feel things very easily. And so that's when I know I'm like, okay, okay. And then it did take a bit to find, like, for example, with LifeWave, the testing of like where, to place the
Where to put the
patches, right?
patches.
But
Okay.
I'll be honest with you, what really helps me more and what I'm using more now is carnosine and Aeon.
Okay, that
Yeah.
combination.
So it does take practicing and testing and really seeing. And there's times where I'll put it on my chest. Like I just kind of think like, what do I need? Like, where is this coming from? I can't identify exactly, but I'll find a point. And it's like, and like one time I told Nikki, I said, yeah, I put it right here in my chest here. She's like, hey, if that's what works, that's what works for you. So I'm not afraid of testing. Yeah, but I put them all over the place, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and for those of you that are unfamiliar with the patches, the Aeon is really a great patch to help reduce inflammation, and the carnosine is a really good one to help relax muscles. So I think of somebody who's having pain. I mean, it does
Mhm,
a lot of other things too. It can
mhm,
help
mhm,
clear up brain fog and things like
mhm,
that, but
mhm.
it really helps to relax those muscles when you have a tense area, and
Mhm.
sometimes that's really what you need. That's why
Yeah,
in Western medicine, we tend to use those muscle relaxers because
yeah.
once things relax and loosen up a little bit,
As
it can
soon as
really
I
allow
put
things
them
to shift.
on, as soon as I find the spot, I feel like ah, just like my body's like,
Nice,
oh, we can rest. I use the ones
nice.
for sleep too. I know you're talking about X39, so we'll focus on that. But so when I started So when I started, everything was great. And then I started feeling better. And I said, and I didn't consciously not put them on me. I just forget because I'm not in pain. Right. So then this was at the very, very beginning. So then all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm working out, I'm feeling good. My back hasn't like broken down on me. And then all of a sudden, I felt like the Tin Man again. And I'm like, why am I feeling like the Tin Man? Because that's what I tell people. Because when they ask me, they're like, "How are you feeling?" I'm like, "I feel like the Tin Man. Like I got moved." And then I'm like, I touch my back, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I haven't put on my X39." And I started with that routine again. It took a week, but I started and I said, okay, it has to be a daily commitment to myself, because once I started putting on X39 too, I forgot about that one. I was moving like a normal human being, and I don't know how to describe that other than nothing hurt. I felt like my feet were actually like the muscle activation, because a lot of my long COVID also came with like um like muscle to brain like activation. And it sounds so random, but it was, yeah, life changing, honestly. I mean, to be without pain for 99% of the time now is, and I've lost 12 pounds. I don't know if I told Nikki this. So I'm starting to lose weight because now I'm not just so in so much pain, where I can now focus on my nutrition. And I lifted like it, I did a like 5 deadlifts, and I did like 50 pounds this week. I hadn't been able to, I hadn't even been able to do a deadlift for I don't know how long. So it's really
Wow.
changing, you know? Yeah, and I don't talk about this a lot because I know that, and Nikki's encouraging me to do it, and that's why I'm here. Because some people may think, oh, that's just bull, like, oh, that's not true. And it's like, if you're in pain and you don't have any other result, anything else, I mean, for me, it's worked. So
Well, I think what's really interesting about your story too is, the placebo effect is very, very powerful. And so
mhm.
you could use these patches expecting them to work and then have them feel so much better and feel like, hey, I'm cured. I don't need anything else. But all of a sudden, when you didn't realize that you weren't wearing them, you
No, I
got
didn't.
worse
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
got
no,
better again when you started wearing them. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
pretty
no.
impressive.
Well, even like with the kids, I have my nieces and nephews, and um, she once had an earache. They both came home with everything. They come home with everything from school, which is something I'm going to be working on with them with the patches, to improve their immune system. But I'm like, I got to take care of me first in order to, take care of everybody else. But so we were playing with LifeWave with her, and they're also very perceptive with energy. And so when we kept moving the white patch around, like she just literally would, because pain would get worse or it would get a little better. And then finally, we went back to carnosine. We said, you know what? Intuitively, I said, I think we need to try something different. So then we tried carnosine, and then both of them gravitated more towards the carnosine. Yeah. So now they're the ones that call me, "Hey, Kat, I have a sore throat. Hey, Kat." Thank God they're a little better now, but it's pretty cool.
Oh, good,
Yeah, and
good.
kids don't lie. Kids don't lie. That's why I'm
Just like animals. It's really
yeah.
fun with children and
Oh yeah.
animals.
And now that you mentioned the animals, so then on the leftover patches, Nikki said I could use them on the dogs, like any leftover. So then I'll put X39, or I'll put, any random one that I happen to have on. I'm like, oh, I think my time is up, and then I'll put it on the dog. Hey, I'm sure they could benefit from it too. So yeah.
Nice, nice. Well, I'm going to just kind of briefly explain a little bit about the technology for those of you that are not familiar with it. So these little patches, they have organic crystals embedded in them. And it is a form of frequency medicine. So an example of frequency medicine is when you go out into the sunlight and the sun hits you, there's a specific frequency in the sun that tells your body to start producing vitamin D. It is not giving you vitamin D, it is telling you to start producing vitamin D. And it is that same principle that is how the patches work. So our bodies are constantly emitting light. We don't really see it, but when we use far infrared goggles, we can see it. It's in the form of a spectrum called far infrared light. And as the light from our body hits the patch, it gets infused with this frequency, goes back, is reflected into our bodies, and that turns on a signal, tells our bodies to start producing this or start producing that. So it can be different peptides. In the case of X39, it's telling our bodies, hey, it is time to start producing copper peptide. And when copper peptide is increased, when that's activated, that also in turn activates our stem cells. So it's a way of indirectly activating our stem cells. And it is clinically proven to enhance our overall health and vitality. In fact, the NIH has this to say on their website, all just about the copper peptide by itself before you even consider the stem cell activation. They say copper peptide stimulates blood vessel and nerve outgrowth and increases collagen and elastin for visible anti-aging. Copper peptide's ability to improve tissue repair has been demonstrated for skin, lung connective tissue, bony tissue, liver, and stomach lining. It has also been found to possess powerful cell-productive actions such as multiple anti-cancer activities and anti-inflammatory actions, as well as having anti-anxiety, anti-pain, and anti-aggression activities. And that's just the first few lines. It does go on and on. And the person who developed this, David Schmidt, he is our inventor, founder, and CEO. He has over 130 US patents. He's a scientist and an inventor and a two-time recipient of the Advanced Technology Award from the International Hall of Fame. He first came up with the patch idea when he was working on a project with the military trying to help Navy SEALs to be able to stay awake for 30 hours in a mini-sub without the need of caffeine or other type of stimulants, because stimulants can have harmful effects on people's bodies too. And that's where he came up with the prototype, the Energy Enhancer patch. And luckily for us, he came and brought it to the market so that it would be available to all of us. So LifeWave is a company with exclusive products with multiple patents, over 80 years of research and clinical studies. There are independent researchers and universities and medical and scientific experts. You can see here is just a little experiment that was done on a 77-year-old female. So as we age, we tend to lose our stem cells and have less active stem cells, almost no stem cell activity at all by that age. And yet, so before the X39, she has a lot of red areas in that brain scan. And on the side, on the scale, you can see that the more red you are, that's the higher voltage of the brain. So this is a very overactive, overstimulated type of brain. And after 3 weeks of using the patch, even though she has little to no stem cell activity, there was enough activation that after 3 weeks, her brain is much calmer, and it maintains that after 6 weeks. So what can you expect when using the X39? Well, there are a lot of benefits that have been studied. A lot of people report rapid pain relief. Some people, it takes more time as the body is doing its healing, but some people can experience it quite rapidly. There are reductions in inflammation. In fact, studies showing reduced inflammation within 24 hours of putting the patch on. It can support wound healing, and we have a number of testimonials about the wound healing. It can increase the energy and vitality, provide mental clarity, which when you're having brain fog, having some mental clarity is very valuable. It enhances sports performance, faster recovery from exercise, and improved skin appearance. And what's going on in your body? So within the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. And within 6 weeks, the brain becomes more balanced, as we just saw. And within 3 months, your collagen is increased, which means decreases in wrinkles, hair growth increases in your structural integrity of both your skeletal and muscular system. So it's not just the outside. If you're seeing it on the outside, you're seeing it, it's happening on the inside too. You need collagen for all our different activities. And within 6 months, there was a study that they did with 15 people wearing the patch for a period of 6 months, and 14 of those 15 people had reversed their vascular age by an average of 8 years wearing the patches, wearing the X39 in particular. So this is not just anti-aging, it's age reversing. And it's incredible when you think that we're not using any medication. There is nothing that is entering the body. It is just reflecting your own body's light back in a specific wavelength frequency that is giving your body the signals to help you to be able to help heal yourself. So where can you go if you want to learn more information? We do have a website. It's called yourteaminmotion.com. You may want to write it down. If you are wanting to look at some different testimonials or learn more about the products, this is a great resource for you. So you can just check that out, yourteaminmotion.com. And thank you all for joining us. Catalina, thank you so much for coming with us. Is there anything that you want to add now that you've had a chance to think of while I was talking? It seems like there's always something that you forget to say. Is there anything that you want to add?
Not anything new other than, if you are out there like me in pain for so long and maybe don't even get to that point, give this a shot, because it's really, I live my life now with 99% pain free, and that's just, nobody could give me that, so if you guys have any questions, these ladies are amazing and can answer any of your questions. So yeah, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah, and if somebody is interested in trying the X39 or any of the other patches, please get back with the person who sent you here. They will be able to tell you what route would be best for you to take advantage to get the best deal, the cheapest cost for your situation that's going to be most helpful. So that being said, thank you all for joining me today. And Catalina, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's really helpful to hear your experience. Thank you.